Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be taking a look at, well, this is actually a relatively atypical video. We're going to have a look at some buttons. But more than that, I'm going to go into some ways that I found to make the buttons nice and clickable. You have that feedback, you really want to click them. I mean, that's important in a game. You should want to click the buttons. Anyway, these are the various button options that we have. There is the button, which is probably the one I'll start with. There's all of these as well. I don't even know what that one is. Oh, it's a button. Let's start with the standard button node. Now, as you can see, this is in standard Godot theme. You can put some text in here, and there's that. So I'll take a look. It's okay. It's a button. You click on it, you get that blue focus outline. It's decent. Is it clickable? Well, technically yes, but not very. So let's take a look. I think the first thing I would do, you see that blue outline that just appears there? That's actually because of the focus. So normally I would just disable that because I don't think it looks good. Maybe it has some uses. Okay, so that's a very, very slight improvement. Maybe. I don't know. But it's still not really doing it. I mean, you know, what's the mouse doing? It's not lighting up. It doesn't have that pointing hand thing, so we can change that. We can go to the mouse property in the control node. And again, this is for any control node. You can see mouse. You can change what the cursor will look like. And now it looks like this. And that's a little bit more clickable. Just a little bit. I mean, you know, it's not winning the whole game for me, you know? It's not doing anything like that. So, you know, I'm gonna take off this because I'm not sure that's doing it for me either. And in fact, if I do this, you know, that's okay. I think actually I'm gonna make all of them disappear. So now it looks like this. Okay, and now there's no feedback at all, and that's maybe even less of a clickable button. So what am I doing here? Well, at this point, I think if I was working on an actual game, I would have some kind of texture behind it, or I would do something with that. I'm not, and I don't, so I'm just going to use a color rect instead, because you all know how much I like color rects, and this is going to be, well, this is a dark blue button, okay? This is a dark blue button. And you may realize, now that I've added this color rect, you can't click it anymore. Again, that's because of the mouse filter. This is showing up in front of the button. It is occluding the entire button. You have to go to filter, ignore. Okay, and now I can click it again. It still doesn't do anything though. It still doesn't have that pizzazz that I need. So here's what I can do instead. Now normally I would have some kind of overlay. So when the mouse enters, it does this sort of, you know, shading effect, and then when it exits it does that. So I'm going to basically just do that. I'll use another color rect. This one is not going to be blue, it's going to be, let's say it's kind of like a very transparent white. That's about what it's going to look like when it gets hovered. And I'm going to say, well, I'm going to give this button a script. So here is my script for the button. I'm going to say when the mouse enters my button, I'm going to have this. Let me just name this overlay. I'll name this one BG for background. And I'll just do the mouse exited as well while I'm at it. So I'm going to put a property. I don't know if this is the industry standard way of doing it, but this is how I do it, and it works fine. So I'm going to make a little flag here that says hovering. And by default, that is false. When you enter, do hovering is true. When you exit, you do hovering is false. And the interesting stuff happens in process. Okay, so we know that overlay, it has a color. And that color is going to be 0 when you're not hovering, or maybe 0.2 So I'm just going to write down some stuff. I'm going to say overlay dot color dot alpha is. Now I'm going to use some lerp here because I think lerp really does make everything better. And here I'm going to use a ternary operator. So what am I doing here? I'm going to say 0.2 if hovering else 0. Okay, and this is just a neat little thing. If you have other programming experience, you know what this does. It's already very readable. It's 0.2 if hovering is true, otherwise it's 0. Anyway, let's give it a go. If I hover it, it kind of lights up a little. And that's not bad. It's not bad. It's quite bright. I mean, I'm making it a bit visible. You know, maybe depending on the aesthetics of my game, I would tune that up or down, or I would change the other RGB values of this a bit more. But, you know, it works. It works just fine. But nothing happens when I click it. I mean, you can hear that. Nothing's going on. So why don't I do something else? Because in addition to the mouse entered and mouse exited signals, I have button down and button up signals. So what I'm thinking I can do, this is a blue button, right? I mean, this is it. I could have it turn into like a red or like a purpley color when the button is being pressed down. Maybe that would be good. That would show the player is absolutely pressing that button. I'm going to give it a go. So connect the button down and connect button up. And now again, I'm going to have another flag here. So I'm going to say, well, in fact, I don't even need a flag because this will already have the pressed property. So I'm just going to say, in fact, do I even need the signals at all? It just occurred to me, pressed will be set automatically. So I'm going to say, colors have the linear, this is just another way of writing lerp. So I'm going to say, let me pick a good color. What's a good color here? I'm gonna get that one first, just so I don't lose it, and then I'm going to see what's a good, maybe this kind of thing, like a nice pinky red. So let's do this color if pressed, else this color, and then I don't think I need those signals at all, so I'm just gonna disconnect those real quick. And these are still very useful signals. I mean, keep those in mind and everything, but I think pressed will actually do it. And yeah, look at that. I'm going to speed this up a little bit so it has that real... There you go. And I'm going to turn this down a touch because that's quite bright. And there you go. That's pretty much a DIY button, and you didn't have to use any of the default Godot stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but you know, it's very clickable. I do like to click that. You get that nice flash, and it's those quick transitions that really helps. But you know what? It's clickable, but it's not dynamic. It doesn't have that fun, you know? Here's the next thing that I'm going to do. You see this button? I'm going to add some shake to it, because you got to have a little bit of shake, just a little bit. Now, you could do this in a variety of ways. I'm going to do this in the simple way because I don't have like a good parent node. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to get the starting position, so you could change this if you like. I'm just going to set that from the beginning. Well, you know what, let's do it dynamically. I'll say starting position equals rect position. So this way I always have a reference to where it started off, and that's going to be important because I'm going to be moving this guy around. Okay, and then I'm going to have a shake counter. So that's 0. I'm going to say, you could do this with some Perlin noise, soft noise, simplex noise, whatever you like. There is a really neat library you could probably get from the asset library right now, which is using a soft noise script to kind of do some soft shake. It's okay. I don't tend to use it that much for screen shake and things like this because I like the screen shake to be so tight and like snappy. You could not even tell that if it was using smooth noise or not. So Anyway, let me just focus a little bit. I'm going to say vect position is the starting position. And it's not going to be just starting position because I want this shake thing. So I'm going to say shake times this vector 2. Now, this is where things get a little bit more... Yeah, to take a look at that. So we have, in both axes, 1 minus vandef times 2. So that's just going to be anywhere from -1 to 1, I think, because that's going to be from 0 to 2. Starting at 1, you can subtract from 0 to 2 from 1, you get -1 to 1. And that's going to be independent for both sides. In addition, not that it really matters for this, stick the randomize keyword up there to give yourself a random seed. Don't worry about this error. My project was running while I was defining new variables and it freaked out anyway. So, we have all this, and I'm going to say shake equals clamp, shake minus delta, 0, and let's give it a max value of 1. Just because I want to separately declare the max shake. I'm going to say, you know, that's cool and all. I have my 0 to 1 sort of shake amount thing. I have maximum shake, which is 15. And I have this range of going from -1 to 1, so it'll shake in either direction. And it should be centered around the starting thing. So, here's the thing. I'm going to say, yeah, you know, pressed should be fine. I could use one of the other signals. They're probably all equivalent. So I'm going to say shake equals 1. Now that's very shaky. Extremely shaky. A little bit too shaky. Because, you know, people say buttons that shake are good. Obviously this is excessive. I'm going to turn that down just before I do anything. But I'm not done here. Because, you know, it takes like a second to decay. That's because it starts at 1 and it's subtracting delta each time, so it takes a second to go down by 1. Here's a good trick I learned from a GDC talk sometime. Just do that. Make it, that's a nice quartic shake, and increase the rate that it decays. So let's do that. Now that is a clickable button. So this decays very quickly, and it, I guess, is to the power of 4. So it, maybe that's a little bit excessive. Let me try a cubic. Maybe. It's still quite hard to tell, actually. Those are almost identical. I think because it's decaying so fast. There you go. So that's that. Let's stick another one in there and play around with this. Because it's between 0 and 1, putting this in will, or putting more, how do I even say it, exponents of shake will make it decay much faster. It's not going to make it bigger. It's between 0 and 1. Anyway, you can see here, it decays quite quickly, and it looks decent. So this might be good for like a button that you want to do a one-off. If it was a more normally clickable button, you might do something like this. To be honest, I kind of prefer maybe a little bit of a middle ground. Do a 4. That looks decent to me. That looks quite good. And that is a very clickable button. You want to make it look like it's right. It's you know, it's staying right there. It's really stuck in there, and when the player nudges it, you know, they're nudging it quite hard, but it's stuck in there even harder. So anyway, that's the idea. But is that it? Is that all? Because I mean, that's cool and all, but that text isn't doing much. And I'm not going to do too much with the text. In fact, I really just want an excuse to show off one of my pet favorites, which is the link button. So here we go. Take a look at this. Okay, that's... There we go. Link button. Now, link buttons, underrepresented, to be honest. I mean, you click on them, it doesn't do anything. You know, I mean, that's cool and all. That's a really nice experience. But this, you know, it gets a bad reputation. So first of all, I'm going to set the on hover so you can tell. There you go. Nice and clicky. But in addition, probably the reason link buttons get a bad time is because nobody sets the custom font. So I have already got a font in here. Here, this one, which I like. And now the button, it looks good. You know, and maybe this could be in a font that works in your game. You can set the colors. I can set, maybe I want the font color to be black by default. I want it to hover into like again, this is a game with blues and reds, and then maybe I'll do like some kind of like pink when it's pressed. Let me see what this looks like. Okay. I mean, I chose quite bad colors when you think about the fact that it's a dark background, but you know, it's not bad. It's worth a mention. It's worth a good, honorable mention, I think. And in addition, something you can do with link buttons, which is really, you know, it's neither here nor there, I suppose. You know, but as something which I like to do, is to change the text of the link button when you click it. So, oh, hold on. Okay, text equal, yeah, clicked. Now just take a look at this, because this is fun to do. Clicked. There you go. That's it. And you can change it back. You can change it to something else. I don't know. I like that. I think it's fun. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got. There's 2 very clickable buttons for you. I hope that was interesting, or maybe even if you don't take some of these techniques, at least you feel inspired to experiment with your own methods of making your buttons extra clickable. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, subscribe, like, have some fun with Godot. Stay tuned for more videos like this if you like them. The more positive feedback I get and engagement, the more that I will make. It's that simple. So, goodbye.